Hello, boys and girls. So Rufus is joining us again today. So many of you have told me that you are loving Rufus, so he's kind of becoming our class mascot. So Rufus says hello again. And today in my book, there is a dog. So I'm kind of looking for some books that have a dog as a character, and the dog in this story is kind of the main character's sidekick. His name is Orville. So I'm gonna let Rufus go because he hasn't learned how to read yet, and read today's read aloud called Violet the Pilot. I'm gonna read this direction. It's more natural for me. Here we go. So Violet the Pilot by Steve Breen. Pages are stuck. This is a fairly new book. All right. So everyone in town knew that Violet Van Winkle was a little different. For starters, she and her parents lived in an odd-looking house next to the junkyard that her father managed. And while other girls were playing with dolls and tea sets, Violet played with monkey wrenches and needle-nosed pliers. Violet was a mechanical genius. By the time she was 2, she could fix almost any broken appliance in the house. By 4, she could take apart the grandfather clock and completely reassemble it. Since she didn't have any friends aside from her dog Orville, remember I told you about Orville, she would spend hours tinkering with things from the yard. Violet's parents were very proud of her, although they weren't too happy the time she put a lawnmower engine on her cousin's tricycle. This is my favorite picture. You see her cousin taking off on the tricycle? The older she got, the more interesting Violet's creations became. Around the time she turned 8, your age, most of you, she was building elaborate machines from scratch. And not just any old machines. Flying machines. Her parents couldn't believe their eyes when they saw Violet zoom by for the first time. They were a little worried in the beginning, but they quickly saw that she was a pretty good pilot. "Careful not to hit the house," Violet's father would yell. "And put on a sweater," her mother would add. Violet used anything she could find in the junkyard to make her wonderful contraptions. You see her flying machine? There was the tub bubbler, the bicycopter, the rocket can, the pogo plane, the slide glider, and the wingamajig, just to name a few. Violet's engineering was pretty sound. The only real hazards were tall trees, piles of junk in the yard, and bugs in her teeth. Ugh. Kids at school would see Violet eating lunch alone and make fun of her strange books and greasy coveralls. Claude and Clyde Mulrooney were especially obnoxious. Not nice. The one day Violet noticed a poster in the drugstore window. Air Show, October 20th, it read. "That's only 2 weeks away," Violet thought. "Can kids fly in the show? Is homemade aircraft allowed?" That night, Violet sat in her room thinking about the air show. She knew it would be a good feeling if one of her planes would win a prize, and maybe then the kids at school would be nice to her. Violet pictured exactly where she would hang her blue ribbon. So she's imagining she would hang her blue ribbon in her room. I love her room. Did you notice all the airplane things and Orville sleeping on her? She's got posters and models hanging from her ceiling. What a fun room. She and Orville spent the next few days combing the junkyard for just the right materials. When they had collected a giant pile of stuff, the building began. One day, the Mulroney toys happened to pass by. "Look, it's that girl from school," one of them said. "What are you doing, weirdo?" "I'm building an airplane," she told them. The twins exploded in laughter, then mumbling something mean as they walked away. Orville barked at the boys, but Violet just went back to her project. "Take it easy, buddy," she said. "We're too busy to worry about them." She has a good attitude, doesn't she? Just ignore people like that. Finally, after days of hard work, Violet had finished making her flying machine. She named the magnificent new craft the Hornet. "Wait till the people in the grandstand see me flying this," Violet said to Orville. Can you see her creation? Oh, look. Orville's taking a picture of her with her creation. The test flight was a success. How about that? On the day of the big air show, Violet took off, bursting with excitement. Her parents' faces had beamed with pride when they wished her luck, and she thought about that as she flew through the clear autumn sky. She calculated that the trip would take about 20 minutes. She would arrive just in time for the start of the show. But look what happened. Suddenly, something caught Violet's eye. In the river below, a group of people were waving frantically. Violet lowered her altitude to get a better look. I have a tickle in my throat this morning. A troop of Boy Scouts had run into trouble while canoeing. Violet knew she had to help and help fast. It wasn't easy rescuing all the boys, but Violet piloted the Hornet with careful precision. Saving the Scoutmaster from going over the falls was particularly dangerous. Excuse me. Violet dropped the grateful Scouts off at the hospital. Then she checked her watch. 33:30. She said to Orville sadly, "We've missed the air show." She turned her plane toward home and sighed. It was a miserable feeling. That evening, Violet had no appetite for dinner. She just went upstairs and sat on her bed. All of a sudden, she heard lots of noise outside the house. She and Orville went to the window and discovered that a crowd of people had gathered. Somebody spotted her. "There's Violet!" the boy shouted jubilantly. "There's our hero!" You see the crowd of people on her front lawn? Let's find out why they're there. The Van Winkles stepped outside, squinting from all the flash bulbs that were popping. The press, the mayor, the fire, the police chiefs, even kids and teachers from school had all learned of the rescue that day and had come to praise her. "Young lady, please accept this Medal of Valor as a token of our gratitude and esteem," said the mayor. And he gave Orville a new collar with a license that read, "Canine Hero." A canine is a dog. From that day on, Violet's parents let her fly whenever she wanted, but her mom still made her wear a sweater. Look at her flying outside the window of the airplane. Have a great day today. Be kind, play with your brothers and sisters, be good to your parents, and I love you. Bye.